Hello students, today in this lecture I will explain the remaining multiple choice questions from the concepts cleavage, embryogenesis and pregnancy from the previous year question papers of NEET and as well as other various competitive exams. So here the first question in this lecture is, which one of the following is the precise site of embryo implantation in normal pregnancy? So here in normal pregnancy, always the site of implantation is endometrium. You know, the stage of embryo called as blastocyst. The blastocyst is attached to the endometrium. This attachment of blastocyst or embedding of blastocyst to the endometrium is called implantation, and hence option A is the right answer for this question. Whereas vagina, so it helps to receive penis during copulation. This is one function, and along with the next function is along with cervical canal, it acts as a birth canal that helps in delivery, right, and even helps in the menstrual flow, and hence option B is incorrect. And if you take the oviduct, you know the oviduct is also called as fallopian tube. This fallopian tube or oviduct, this is the site of fertilization, not site of implantation. It is a site of fertilization. But there are some cases where there might be implantation in fallopian tube. If there is implantation in fallopian tube, then that type of pregnancy is called as tubal pregnancy, or it is also called as ectopic pregnancy. Right. So here, but in normal pregnancy, implantation is always takes place at endometrium, not in the fallopian tube or not in the oviduct. But in case of tubal pregnancy or in ectopic pregnancy, what is meant by ectopic pregnancy? If implantation takes place in the female body other than the uterus or other than endometrium, then that is what called ectopic pregnancy. In most of the cases, ectopic pregnancy takes place in fallopian tube, so hence it is also called tubal pregnancy. But during in such kind of pregnancy, in most of the cases, the embryo will disintegrate after reaching certain stage. Embryo will die, or the fallopian tube may rupture, it may damage, or in very rare cases the embryo completely develops into fetus and infant or baby. Then through cesarean the baby will be taken out from the mother body in very rare cases, and hence option C is also incorrect. But implantation is possible in rare cases, that too in ectopic pregnancy, not in normal pregnancy. And about cervix, just now I have explained, the cervical canal along with the vagina acts as a birth canal, and hence option D is also incorrect. So finally the right answer for your question, for this question, is endometrium. Right. Now let us take the next question. Here question says, gestation period is the duration between. So gestation period is nothing but pregnancy period. So pregnancy period, you know when does pregnancy will happen? Only after fertilization. But we cannot say all the ovulation leads to pregnancy. Even we cannot say all the fertilizations lead to pregnancy. But why? Because after fertilization, if there is implantation, this implantation always leads to pregnancy. It is the confirmation of pregnancy, not even fertilization. Implantation is the confirmation of pregnancy, but fertilization only leads to the implantation, and starting from fertilization up to the delivery of the baby, what is this delivery process is also called as parturition. So hence starting from fertilization up to the parturition, that period around 9 months in humans, it is 9 months plus or minus 7 days. This period is called as pregnancy or gestation period, and hence option C is the right answer, starting from fertilization to parturition. But you need to keep in mind, all fertilization do not lead to pregnancy. Why? Because fertilization is immediately not the confirmation of pregnancy. If there is implantation, then only it will be the confirmation of pregnancy. But fertilization only leads to implantation. So hence we are giving this answer, fertilization and to parturition. Option C is the right answer to this question, whereas A, B and C. Here question says, which chemical of egg attracts and hold sperm? So here during fertilization, this sperm, it has certain proteins on its surface. Those proteins are called as anti-fertilizins. So these anti-fertilizins which are present on the sperm, right? Whereas the egg has a receptor called as a chemical receptor called as fertilizin. So these fertilizins are the chemicals that are secreted by egg plasma membrane or egg cell, and these fertilizins will act as receptors, and hence it also helps to attract the sperm and as well as hold the sperm with the egg, or attachment of sperm with the egg. So hence for your question, the right answer is fertilizins. Fertilizins, it releases from the egg, and you need to keep in mind, anti-fertilizins, these are the proteins releases from the sperm. So hence option A is the right answer, whereas B, option C agglutinin and option D anti-agglutins are also incorrect, right? Now let us take the next question, and here the next question is, all of the following statements concerning pregnancy are accurate except. So here we need to find out inaccurate statement, inaccurate or incorrect statement. If you take statement A, the detection of human chorionic gonadotrophins, that means HCG, in urine forms the basis of pregnancy test. So this is the accurate statement, accurate or correct statement related to pregnancy. During pregnancy, the HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophins, that are mainly secreted around from 8 to 9 days after fertilization, immediately from the layer of trophoblast called syncytiotrophoblast. So you need to know what is meant by this syncytiotrophoblast. As you know, the zygote after fertilization develops into morula by a process called as cleavage, and that morula develops into blastocyst. This blastocyst is attached to the endometrium. That process is called as implantation. So if you take, this is the endometrial lining, and to this endometrial lining the blastocyst will be attached like this. A blastocyst will be embedded into this endometrium like this, and it has the outermost layer of cells. This outermost layer of cells, which is called as trophoblast layer, and this layer is continuous, and it may again further divides to increase its cells like this, each cell with a single nucleus, right? And what is this layer? It is the trophoblast layer or trophoblast cells. And inner to the trophoblast, you can see embryonal cells or embryoblast cells. So these cells that are not continuous, found at one side of the embryo, these cells are called as embryoblast. This embryoblast only gives rise to the entire embryo, not trophoblast. But what happens after implantation? Some of the cells of trophoblast situating above this embryoblast, those cells fuse together to form a multinucleated syncytium. I will show you how it forms. Let me erase this portion. These cells, what I am erasing now, these cells, they fuse together like this, and they form a multinucleated syncytium. So this trophoblast is called as syncytiotrophoblast, whereas the trophoblast having uninucleated normal cells, this is what called as cytotrophoblast. This syncytiotrophoblast, it helps to release HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin, and as well as estrogen, and as I said just now, HCG will be released from 8 to 9 days after fertilization. That HCG will be excreted through urine. And if the pregnant woman we cannot say if there is there is stopping of menstrual cycle in a continuously menstruating woman. If the woman is married, if continuously menstruating married woman not menstruated at any one particular month and there is a chances of pregnancy, if they go for urine test, if HCG are there in their urine, then it will be the confirmatory test. It will be the confirmation of pregnancy, right? And hence in this question, this first statement, the detection of human chorionic gonadotrophins in the urine forms the basis of pregnancy test. As I said, why it forms the basis? Because HCG is the first hormone that is immediately secreted around 8 to 9 days after fertilization, and that can be excreted through the urine, and it is the accurate statement, and hence it is not the correct answer. What we need to find out is inaccurate. Now, if you take the statement B, the cyclic release of pituitary gonadotrophins and ovarian steroids is continued. So here, what are pituitary gonadotrophins? FSH, follicular stimulating hormone, and LH are called as pituitary gonadotrophins, whereas ovarian steroids are estrogen and progesterone. Generally during pregnancy, the level of estrogen and progesterone is very high. If its concentration is very high, this estrogen and progesterone that inhibit the secretion of FSH and LH, inhibit both FSH and LH. So generally pituitary gonadotrophins will not be released during pregnancy. When it comes to the ovarian steroid, among ovarian steroid, mainly progesterone can be secreted from the ovary, because after fertilization, the ruptured Graafian follicle is converted into corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is present inside the ovary, and that is secreting progesterone hormone. So hence progesterone is one of the ovarian steroid that may be secreted, or that is generally secreted during the pregnancy. But as I said, estrogen, it is mainly secreted. Just now in the previous slide I have shown you, estrogen, it is mainly secreted from the syncytiotrophoblast, right? So hence this is the inaccurate statement or incorrect statement, right? And hence this is the right answer for your question. Option B is the right answer for this question. If you take other statements, let us take the statement C. The mammary glands tissue of pregnant women is stimulated to develop by placental hormones. So here there is one placental hormone called as HPL, human placental lactogen, and it is also called as HCS. This HCS stands for human chorionic somatomammotropins. So let me use one more slide. HCS, human chorionic somatomammotropins, and these are generally having two types of activities. It helps in lactation, and as well as helps in growth. So it is in previously called as HC, that is HPL, human placental lactogen. So here hence this statement is correct. So you know, human placental lactogen that helps in the development of the mammary gland. Not only human placental lactogen, another hormone, one of the main hormone, just now I have explained that estrogen. You need to remember this. Estrogen is one of the important hormone that helps in enlargement of breast or mammary gland, and as well as enlargement of the wall of external, mainly enlargement of external genitalia, enlargement of breast and as well as enlargement of the ducts within the breast ducts. So here estrogen helps in the development of the breast. Along with estrogen there is HPL, human placental lactogen. This also stimulate the development of breast during pregnancy. So these two hormones are very essential, and hence this statement C is accurate or correct statement, and hence it is not the answer for this question. If you take statement D, the corpus luteum of pregnancy maintains the uterus until placenta is well established. So here, corpus luteum, it is formed by the ruptured Graafian follicle. And this corpus luteum, it is go on secreting progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone, it prevent contraction of uterus. And as I have explained just now, it also prevents the secretion of the pituitary gonadotrophins, and hence progesterone is also called as the pregnancy hormone. It is one of the most important hormone. It also prevent the abortion. What is the main cause of abortion? If there is contraction of uterus, the attached blastocyst will be released, or the fetus will be released from the uterus, and that causes the abortion. But here progesterone, that helps to prevent contraction of uterus, thereby it also prevent the abortion. And this corpus luteum, of course, it secrete the progesterone around 4 to 5 months of pregnancy, and starting from 5th month of the pregnancy, placenta is completely developed. This placenta go on secreting the progesterone along with estrogen, HPL and HCG, and hence it is also the correct and accurate answer, and hence option D is not answer for your question. So the incorrect answer for this question is option B. And finally, from this question we have studied one complete concept. That concept is the hormones that are secreted from the placenta during pregnancy. One is HPL, HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin, along with that estrogen and as well as progesterone. They are the 4 main hormones that are secreted from the placenta. You know which form the placenta? The syncytiotrophoblast along with the uterine tissue, both together. Uterine tissue and the tissue of trophoblast or tissue of embryo together form the placenta. So that placenta secrete all these 4 different types of hormones, and this is about this question. Now let us take the next question, and this is the final question in this lecture. Which one of the following describes the correct sequence of stages during embryogenesis? It is one of the easiest question. During embryogenesis, the zygote subjected to cleavage. By a process called cleavage, zygote gives rise to morula. This morula develops into blastula by a process called blastulation. And blastula develops into gastrula by a process called gastrulation. Right. If you take the options, option A says blastula, cleavage, gastrulation. So here blastula, it forms before cleavage, means cleavage will not come after blastula formation, and hence option A is incorrect. If you take option B, blastula formation, gastrulation, cleavage. Here cleavage is given in the 3rd position. First cleavage occur, then you can see morula and blastula, and hence option B is also incorrect. Option C, cleavage. After cleavage they have given gastrulation. After cleavage you will get morula and then blastula, and hence option C is also incorrect. Finally, if you take option D, cleavage, blastula, you can see cleavage, but morula stage is not given in this option, so it's not a problem. So from the cleavage they have given blastula formation, and from blastula formation gastrula formation. These 3 stages are very clear and in the accurate order, and hence option D is the right answer for this question. Right. This is about today's lecture. In the next lecture, I will explain more multiple choice questions related to human reproduction, and as well as I will explain gastrulation in detail because it is one of the important topic for your NEET examination. You just be in touch with Sir Educate's channel, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe the channel and press bell icon for more latest updates and notification. If you like this video, share this video. Till then, take care and prepare for your NEET examination. Thank you.